Welcome to Panama, baby, and what an unbelievable little country this is. We've had 3 days exploring, so I thought it's time to do a little bit of first impressions, thoughts, and just digest, divulge, and throw a little bit of knowledge and wisdom your way, because it has been a sensational little start. As always, bang any questions in the old comments down below, and whilst you're down there, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button. Still en route to 3K subs, and we're gonna get straight into it. The main thing of note, moving from South America, where we've been for the last few months flying about the place. Number one country for me in South America is Bolivia. Let me know your thoughts on that in the old comments down below. The main difference, people love and hate this. This is a pro and con. In South America, I'd say 95% of people don't speak English. I love that. You're in the unknown. You've got to work things out, how to get to different places. Just be really good at charades, dos cervezas. We picked up a tiny little bit of Spanish, but coming to Panama, I would say every single person I spoke to so far speaks English. As I say, that is a pro, that is a con. Depends what you're looking for. Ease of getting around, you're going to enjoy it a lot more here. If you want to feel like you're in a completely different country, different environment, it's going to be a little bit different to that. Obviously, the closer you go to America, more people are going to speak English, and obviously having the Panama Canal, which you're going to be dropping a little bit of knowledge of a little bit later, it means it's extremely international, extremely global, lots of different countries come here. So yeah, everyone has spoke English thus far. It is a city for me of two halves, and when I talk about things like this, I always want to say, I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I don't think money equals happiness or anything like that. I just think it's good to talk about my experience, what I've seen. You can make your own judgment call on if this is a place you want to come to. It's a city of two halves. I think very similar to what I said about Medellin, where you have the extremely wealthy, extremely nouveau, extremely developed, lovely patisseries, restaurants, rooftop bars, the massive, beautiful skyline. For me, before I came to Panama, I didn't really have any perception of it, but I just thought, oh, well, it's not going to be super built up or anything like that. In my head now, it's very similar to what I imagine, but when you picture like New York, Kuala Lumpur, these places with super tall high-rises, that is the CBD of Panama. And then the bit where we've moved to now, so we had 2 days there, and we're now staying in the historic quarter, which is exactly what it says on the tin, where all the colonial buildings are, a lot of like the governmental buildings, beautiful little harbour, marina, and again, I would say a lot of wealth in that area. We're right on the border, so behind me now is the historic quarter, behind the camera and this way. Again, this is just me explaining what I can see, and what I see in front of me is extreme poverty, and you see that right next to each other, obviously juxtaposing. We're staying in obviously a really nice apartment with a rooftop pool, and then some of the accommodation on the other side where it's more, living in a shack, living in, I'd say extremely difficult living conditions. Everyone's trying to find like a politically correct way of saying it, but it's just an observation. To reiterate my point, is that money does not mean happiness. I think there is very much a bell curve to that in life. When you get to a certain level, hits a point where stress, time away from family, pressures on life, pressures on relationships exceed the money that you're making, especially when you're having your pants pulled down by the old taxman as well. And on this city, all of South America, I've said this, where people are saying, oh, it's dangerous, it's unsafe. We went out at night in Medellin, loads of places in Colombia, all across South America. And again, people are, oh, be careful going out at night in Panama. We've not gone out late, but it is a place where, like, right outside our building are armed police with like M16 rifles and stuff. And I think if you're from the UK, we never, apart from when you play Call of Duty, you never really see guns or anything. So when you see people like that, it's a bit like, is it that loose? Is that a deterrent? Do things go down where they need that sort of equipment and stuff, or is it just a case of, right, we just put these people in place and we deter the violence and we make sure it's a safe place? So it might be a bit of both, but it's pretty loose behaviour. And then again, this is a pro and a con as well, is the amount of like fast food places in comparison to all of like South America and Asia where we've been travelling is through the absolute roof. We're going to be testing out a few. I've never had a Wendy's. Is that good? Let me know in the old comments down below. But again, I think it's like, the closer you get to America, the bigger that sort of stuff, I guess, is going to be. We've got about a month flying about Central America, but we'll be back in South America for Christmas, New Year, and then we need to address what we're going to be doing February time. The other key thing about Panama, this is again reiterating everything that we felt, we feel, we've just been a part of in South America, is that everyone here is so friendly, so nice, so accommodating, serious vibes. This boat trip that we went on, and if you've not seen it, go back. It'll either be 1 day, 2 day, it'll be on the channel already now. It was unbelievable. It's like £72 per person, 8 hours, open bar the whole time, and not just oh, you can have a beer here or there, literally tuck them away at your will, shots going, everything. It was so good. The captain spent more time salsaing, throwing South American girls around his head than he did sailing, but that's the sort of vibes on the boat. But yeah, super accommodating, banging food, super nice, and all the people you just meet out, yeah, just really, really friendly. And again, I guess like because everyone speaks English here, it's easier to have conversations and engage with people as well. So the food's been banging, the drinks have been banging, everyone's so friendly. So yeah, extreme vibes thus far. And then the final point to make is like about like the canal as well, Panama Canal. It's why a lot of people come here. I was like, oh, it'd be cool, let's go check it out. We've just been this morning. It is unbelievable. Again, I've got a separate vlog on all the knowledge, wisdom and everything about that, but the level of like ingenuity to build it, to understand the environment from like an ecological perspective, a geographical, geology, I don't even know what the word is for geology, but yeah, to understand the geology of the land and how they can build the largest artificial lake in the world to like ships to go from the Pacific to the Caribbean or Caribbean to the Pacific. I'll give you 3 little bits of knowledge and wisdom, and if you want more, I've got about 100 on the video I posted yesterday. Number 1, 40% of the workforce when it was under the French initially died due to like the mudslides and what they didn't know at the time, like the malaria and the yellow fever, and then it was under Roosevelt, they didn't understand until he came in and brought in, I can't remember the doctor's name, I'm going to say George something, but you'll have to correct me on that in the comments. He came in and understood that it was the mosquitoes that was doing that. So yeah, he had the knowledge, the wisdom, and they completely, yeah, sorted the entire workforce out, vaccinated everyone so they weren't getting killed by malaria. The ships that go through the canal now, this is point number 2, the length of the ship is the same height as the Empire State Building, so hopefully that gives a little bit of knowledge, wisdom, and puts it in scale of how ridiculous yeah, the canal is. And the third and final point, racking the old brains of which one to use, but let's just go with this one, nice easy one. They make 2 billion annually from the ships that go through there, and instead of taking them 2.5, 3 weeks to go around the Horn of South America, it only takes them about 8 to 10 hours, depending on the time of day, how busy it is and stuff like that. So yeah, the knowledge, the wisdom, the insight was unbelievable. So yeah, for me, Panama was one of these places where like, I don't know many people. I know one other person that's been here, and he just went straight to San Blas. And we were like, now we'll spend some time in the city, and the weather's way better here. I see it cooking up in the old sun. I imagine that looked pretty good when I lifted my armpit. Hopefully we're safe. Who knows? But yeah, it's been unbelievable so far, super friendly. For me, I only speak about my experience and what we've done and how it's affected us. Super safe, super friendly. The food's been really good. The drinks are absolutely banging. The people are very vibey. It seems, do you know what I mean? Just that Caribbean taste. Need to get a little bit looser in the old hips with the old salsa. But yeah, I've been banging so far. If you are watching this, I have a question for you, because we have options of Boca del Toro, we have options of San Blas, but the weather in both those locations is pretty terrible. So we're like, do we travel there to live on an island where it's just hammering it down the whole time, or do we just stay in the city where we've got the rooftop pool and all the amenities that we need? I feel as if like we should go, but when the weather is that bad, we're toying it up. So let me know in the comments, which one shall we do? If you have any questions, bang it down below. Whilst you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Still en route to 3K subs. I'll see you tomorrow, babe. Remember, the chef is always cooking. Let's get it.